And that's talking about all these places that they have taken. It don't belong unto them. But ultimately, even the land of Jerusalem, okay, you got them Amalekites, okay, living up there within the land of Jerusalem right now. They don't belong in that land. Like Abdul Gabar Nasser, I forget how you pronounce his name. He said that what? That the Jews left the land of Israel black. How is it that they returned white? Because them rats that you got within the land of Israel right now, that's not the people of the Most High. Okay, the people of the Most High, when they was going to return into that land, pursuant to the book of Ezekiel, the whole earth was going to be in peace. Okay, there wasn't going to be no proxy wars, trade wars, okay, hot wars. That wasn't going to be a thing when the real 12 tribes of Israel was going to return onto that land. And that's within the so-called Old Testament. But nobody brings that up because everybody, like they say, common sense is not that common anymore. Okay? So it says there, because he hath oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel the quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired, which is the so-called New World Order. Okay, and it says, surely he shall not feel. Here we go, 21st verse. It says, there shall be none of his meat left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency shall he be in straits. So when he's about to fill his belly, man, that's when he was going to be in the most difficulties. Okay, in the fullness of his sufficiency shall he be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall be upon him, which is these other nations, because ultimately even the EU and all of that, they're gonna come up against America, which is the main, that's the keynote of Babylon. That's like Esau's thing right now. Okay, that's his home base. Okay, but just like how you had when the Babylonians were taking down Jerusalem, or the Greeks were taking down Jerusalem, you had Israelites that was amidst those people taking down their own people. That's the same thing that's gonna happen now. You go to where basically the main hub for Edomite power is America. That's where it's at. That's its epicenter. Okay, the epicenter of Edomite power is America, man. Okay, but even other Edomites from other regions is gonna come up against that, just like how it happened to us in the past. Okay, so you got a reoccurring theme of doing that, but the main hub of Esau's power, that's gonna be done away with. Okay, but also to these other nations of the scripture says they're going to be involved within the taking down of Esau's, the epicenter of his power, which is America, which is known as Babylon within the scriptures. They're going to be involved within that. Okay, so it says there, okay, every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast his wrath of fury upon him, and he shall rain it upon him whilst he is eating. Okay, so it says he shall flee from the iron weapon, which is the ICBM nuclear weapons. That's the iron weapon. Okay, he shall flee from the iron weapon. Okay, the bow of steel shall strike him through. Okay, it is drawn, it cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gulf. Terrors are upon him, all wickedness are hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. Alright, it shall go ill with him that is left within his tabernacles. So every Edomite that's left within Babylon, they're gonna have the because you're gonna have certain at least escaping that. But they was gonna escape it to be the first fruits of the hardcore slavery underneath the Israelites. Okay, but everyone that's left out there within America, they're gonna be catching hella L's, man. Okay, so it says the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, because you're gonna have that when you see how much, and they got all kind of ICBMs out there, man. They got all kind of nuclear weapons out there. You got Russian subs circulating undetected underneath the walls. They got enough. They said that there was a period of time, if not up until this date, what they must do up until this date, they got nuclear submarines, okay, that's out there within the oceans, and they got like one of those, okay, with the missiles that's on board, could take out the whole entirety of America, man. So imagine just how much devastation is going to be playing out here. That's why the scripture says that what the elements shall melt with a fervent heat, man. Okay, because they're literally going to melt with a fervent heat. Okay, so it says that the heavens shall reveal his iniquity. All right. The earth, okay, I tucked my leaf. All right, the earth, okay, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, the earth shall rise up against him, the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. this is the portion of the wicked man. This is the heritage appointed them unto him by the Most High. So that's what's going to come about for all of you Edomites, man. You're going to be chased away as the vision tonight. You're going to be forgotten about the America that you built. And you check out these Esau, man. Wherever you may be, you might be out there in Switzerland. You might be out here in Europe. Not Europe, but rather more England or whatever. Wherever you check out Esau, man, they're drawn to that America, man. Actually, I take that back. Okay, they know that that's the epicenter of their power, but really now we're getting into the zone where what? There's a major hatred against America. Okay, and that's really going into the prophetic scriptures. Okay, now let's go back into the book of Psalms, the 58th chapter, and the 7th verse. So it says here, let them melt away as the water which runneth continually. And we read about that within the book of Job, the 20th chapter. Okay, let them melt away as the water which runneth continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot, okay, his arrows, let them be cut in pieces. So they're going to be cut in pieces, man. They're going to be torn apart. Okay, in fact, the scripture says that what? Oh, Edom, happy is he that taketh and dasheth thy little ones, man. And it takes a certain amount of anger for the Most High to have it to where you go ham out on kids like that. But the Most High said that what? He was going to put his anger upon us. And when you check out what the scriptures that we just read, the vengeance and so on and so forth, and we're going to read about more vengeance within this chapter, okay? But when you check out how the Most High did it, well, you see that also Esau, when he was in power, when he was in the position of power, basically his thing was feeding, he had it to where they was catching alligators, okay, to make alligator shoes and alligator bags, and the bait that they had was little black, okay, Hispanic and Native American children, okay? So the same hell is going to come upon him. They had certain Negro women lynched, okay, and when they was lynching them Negro women, they was cutting the babies that they had out of their bellies, man, okay? So Esau's got a very great and heavy judgment and a great and heavy price to pay. Okay, so continuing here within the book of Psalms 58, it says, let them melt away as the waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be cut in pieces. As the melt which melteth, let every one of them pass away like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, okay, he shall take them away as with the whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. Okay, so the 10th verse is the point. Okay, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. So the Most High is all about vengeance, man. Balancing the scales, all that. The Lord's all about that. Okay, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Okay, so that the man shall say, verily there is a reward for righteousness. Verily he is the power that judgeth the earth. Because the scripture says that what? Fret not because the evildoers, and also says don't be seduced by the ways of wicked men. So ultimately it says, ultimately when you put all those three scriptures all together, all right, or you don't consider Psalms the 58th chapter, you might be fretting yourself and all of that. But guess what? There is a reward for the righteous Israelites, the elect. Okay, and that reward is that what? They was going to be partaking of the vengeance that's going to come upon the man you know as Esau, which is the elite banking families and their kingsmen, okay, that rule the world right now. Okay, their brethren that rule the world in unrighteousness in the time that we're living in right now. They come with these slick talk, okay, his so-called English, okay, sophisticated English. Man, we know that swords is within his hearts, man. Okay, that's what Esau's out here to do, is to create havoc, okay, and destruction. That's why the Most High set him up as a direct contrast unto what the rulership of the Israelites is going to be like. Because when the Israelites are in rulership, you ain't going to have all of these schisms and proxy wars that you go out here playing within the world. You ain't going to have cancers and diabetes. You ain't going to have all. Now that really, ultimately, that ain't going to happen amidst us. But the other nations might still catch over that, because the scripture says that what? Excuse me. The Bible says that what? Okay, them curses that was upon us, okay, that they was going to go on to their enemies, onto our enemies. Now, you know, the diseases and all of that, to those that was going to come up onto our enemies if we was to do righteousness, but if we was to do wickedness, that was going to come upon us. And the scripture says that what? The Lord was going to give us all kind of plagues that we experienced within the land of Egypt, and even more so if we was not to follow his laws, statutes, commandments. And this is what the times that we're living in right now. So you're gonna have situations where other the heathens and that they're gonna be jacked up in that. But ultimately, what you're gonna find out is the earth is gonna be rejuvenated, man. Okay, the earth is gonna be working in a way that's not what's known as functional. Right now, it ain't working in a position where it's functional right now. It's dysfunctional because you got a dysfunctional ruler that's in power right now. Okay? So continuing now, and back within the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Alright, and this is it was from the top, right? So it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin Dora of Babylon. And we read about that within the book of Psalms 137 and 7. So you should know who the Dora of Babylon is. That's Edom. Okay? And sit in the dust of virgin Dora of Babylon. And we was reading this scripture because we was in the book of Isaiah, Revelations, the 17th chapter, right? In fact, if I come back onto the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Once we read Revelation 17 and Revelations 18, we can come back to Isaiah 47. It will make more sense to do it that way. If I come back to Isaiah 47, that is. So let's go to Revelation 17 because it's like, you know, I'm jumping the gun too much when, you know, reading Isaiah the 47th chapter. So let's go to Revelation 17. It says, I'll start back from the top. Revelation 17 and 1, it says, and there came one of the 7 angels which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying, come hither, and I'll show you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So that's what Isaiah, the 47th chapter is going to go into. But we read it from here, and then Revelations 18, and so on and so forth. Okay, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornications with, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk of the wine of fornication. Okay, so the book of Jeremiah 51, add context, all right, and we can start from Jeremiah 1 and 1 and work our way down to the point, okay, because the scripture says that what? It says, with whom all the kings of the earth have committed fornications with, and the inhabitants of the earth have been drunk off of wine. So Jeremiah, in fact, I'll go to the point. Jeremiah 51 and 7, it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and has made all the nations drunken. Okay, therefore, and the nations have been drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So, what's that talking about? That's talking about how America pushes what? Philosophies out there, man. Okay, agendas. Okay, what's known as they do what's known as studying psychology. Okay, and then in order to achieve certain things, so they might study psychology of how a whole family structure is supposed to work, and they'll have it to where the family structure it does the opposite. Remember, they got a thing on the Georgia when they had the Georgia Guidestones like 5, 6, 7 years ago. They had a thing on the Georgia Guidestones to reduce the population of the world down to about 500 million. Okay, so 7 or 8 billion people that they want to kill off. Okay, now how they gonna kill them off? Planned Parenthood. Okay, they was gonna kill them off that way. They was gonna kill them off by way of what? By way of destroying the family structure. Because when you don't have no father in the house or whatever, okay, basically you guys gonna have dysfunction, which was gonna lead on to death. Okay, or they could use that chaos to have it to where the martial law troops come up in there. That's the same thing you go out there happening within London. All them so-called Negroes out there within London out there causing all kind of havoc, all right, on the streets and that. You check out their families, their dad ain't home, okay, you know, the mom's on drugs, okay, or mom's an alcoholic, okay, they got all kind of problems. Because why? Because when you check out the Negro community, okay, Negro, Hispanic, and Native American community, they're the ones most heavily invested in what? American culture, man. Okay, they're the ones mostly invested in the music that comes from the United States. Okay, the culture that comes from over there, and therefore they're the ones that have been the most susceptible, and the Most High designed it that way, that have been most susceptible to the damage that causes. Therefore, what? The nations are mad, right? So that's why the family structure is all jacked up, and that just leads onto what? Onto more chaos. Remember that this man's got a mantra or motto, so you can understand, that goes by the saying, order out of chaos. So they're trying to establish their order, which is really disorder, okay, the thing of the so-called New World Order, and they're trying to establish that by what? By way of what? By way of chaos. That's why the scripture says that what? Babylon has been the golden cup within the Lord's hand, and it's made the old earth drunken. You got them Japanese out there, when they come over out there into the Americas, they ain't wearing traditional garments, man. Okay, the Africans, they come over to England, they ain't wearing their so-called traditional garments, man. Okay, they get all up into the ways of Esau. Okay, they wear the obelisk, okay, which is nothing but a penis on their neck. Okay, they all the way up into Esau's way of living. But see, the ways of Esau is going to lead unto what? Unto death, man. Okay, so the scripture says that what? With whom all the kings of the earth have committed fornications with, and the inhabitants of the earth have made drunk with the wine of fornications. So the philosophies, okay, the decrees that they pushed out there, which is laws, okay, and so on and so forth, that's made the whole earth dysfunctional. All right, so continuing, it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman, okay, sitteth upon a scarlet-colored beast with names of blasphemies, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now that scarlet-colored beast, that's a throwback statement. That goes back all the way onto the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter, of which I'm gonna read for you. So, book of Genesis 25. Right, bear with me. The book of Genesis 25. And I'll go straight to the point. So Genesis 25 and 24. Okay, so it says here, and this talking about the birth of Jacob and Esau. Okay, the two progenitors of the nations, the two prominent nations within the earth right now. You got Jacob, okay, the most athletic, okay, most smartest, okay, most flavorsome people upon the earth. And you got the one that rules the unrighteous brothers that actually rule the earth in Esau. Okay, so Genesis 25 and 24, it says, and when her days were to be delivered, and her numbers and her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, they were twins in her womb. Okay, and the first came out red, okay, all over like a hairy garment, and his name was Esau. So that scarlet-colored beast, as we go into the scriptures, you find out within the book of Daniel, okay, you find out that there were certain empires that was alluded to as beasts. Okay, you had the bear. All right, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. You had the lion with the eagle's wings, which was the what? I believe that was the Assyrians. Okay, and so on and so forth. You had the he-goat that was Alexander the Great, I believe. If I remember, like I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. Okay, I should really remember off the top of my head, Salakia. All right, but just you had nations that was referred to as a particular beast, man. So what's the red beast? Well, we find out that there was a nation of people that was known as that was known for their lack of pigmentation, and their blood basically showed through forth their skin. Okay, meaning that it was red all over like a hairy garment, not hairy all over, but red all over like a hairy garment. Because in the ancient kingdom, what you had to do with the leather, okay, you like we was living in tents, right? Now you had Jacob. You all right there, mate?
No, mate.
Yeah. Do you believe in the Bible and that? All right.
Not really religious. No.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. So basically, back within the ancient times when you had Jacob living in tents and all of that, basically you had to make do with what you had. So you're cutting a goat or whatever. All right. You might make a goat rug, okay, to make the flooring of that particular tent. You see that on TV programs like Marco Polo. Basically, wherever they had certain tent dwellings, all right, you would use the garments, the hairy garments, okay, like the goat skins, okay, the cow skins. Now you might take all this, you might have all of the skin. You take all the skin off, and you have leather, straight up leather. But in most cases, especially when you check out those ancient garments and that, in some cases you had it to where you would leave those the so-called natural the natural hairs of that particular animal that you had killed, okay, to make what? To make a garment, or to make carpets, or to make furnishings, man. Okay, that's what you would do. But in order to, see with the leather, what you have to do with the leather is you have to treat it, okay. And what you would do is you would have the dyes and the so-called chemicals to make it to where what? It doesn't go off. Okay, because it was organic, but you have to have that organic material turn into what? Something that's going to last a long time. so it doesn't rot or anything like that. You would treat it. And how they used to treat it back in the ancient world, you know, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but the process, sometimes you involved a red pigment that would have went in there. So therefore what? Esau was red all over like a hairy garment, man. Okay? So this is a nation of people that is referred to as being red, and the scripture saying here within the book of Revelations that what? That it was going to be a country that was going to sit upon many waters, all right? And they said rather more there was going to be a woman, okay? And we know certain countries are referred to as women. So are ships. Ships are referred to as women. Cars are referred to as women, okay? So there was going to be a thing out there that was going to sit upon a scarlet colored beast, or a nation of people, all right, alluded to as being what? Red. That's Esau right there. And what's the toughest country that Esau? That's America. So America sits upon what? The scarlet colored beast, which is NATO, okay, which is NATO, okay? So it says there, so he carried me away within the spirit, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, having full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones, having a golden cup within her hand, right, of abominations and filthiness. And upon her head was the name written, Mystery Babylon. Mystery, because it was a mystery, because the scriptures doesn't flat out say, look, this is America, okay, or this is the location, or this is the geographical coordinates, so you can find it within the future. It says it is a mystery, because the scripture says that what? The mysteries of the scriptures was going to be revealed unto the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Right? Meaning to say what? You was going to need a teacher to teach you certain things, all right, in the last days. Okay? That's just how the Most High set it up, to where what? You got teachers, the teachers teach, all right, and the people that were supposed to be, the people that was listening to teachers, going to listen to the teachers, man. Okay? So it says there, and upon her head was written Mystery Babylon, the great marvel of false. So this beast, rather more this woman was going to sitting upon a beast. Okay, and upon her forehead, rather more the title of that woman was what? Mystery Babylon. Okay, that's talking about America. We read about that within the book of Psalms 137. Okay, or daughter of Edom, or daughter of Babylon. Okay.